So starting today's news, Dustin Poirier reacts after a close encounter with Conor McGregor in Las Vegas. So just to give some clarity, recently Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier apparently had a close encounter in Las Vegas and were in the exact same building. Now somebody posted a video of Conor McGregor's reaction after finding out that Dustin Poirier was in the same building, and here's what Conor had to say.
Conor, there's somewhere to go.
You see how Dustin went the other way? You see how Dustin walked the other way? He's right behind me.
No way.
Walk the other side right there. He's right there.
That's crazy. So last night on Ariel Helwani's MMA show, Dustin actually gave his reaction to the close encounter with Conor McGregor. Now, Dustin went on to say that he still has beef with Conor McGregor, and if he had have seen Conor McGregor, it definitely would have popped off. Here's what Dustin had to say.
You and Conor both at like the same convention or something? I saw a video where someone said Dustin's right over there. Did you see each other in Vegas?
No, so dude, that was crazy. I had just finished my signing for Celsius, and I'm partners with the seltzer water called Hop Water. So I was walking over to their booth to meet some people, and Conor was behind me apparently.
Wow.
And my agent was walking behind me, and he grabs me. So Conor might have saw the back of my head. I don't know. I didn't see him. He grabs my shoulders and says, "Hey, go this way, to the right, to the right." So we start walking to the right. I'm like, "The booth is right there." We start walking to the right, and then once we get clear of everybody, he's like, "Dude, we almost had a big problem."
Oh,
and that's what that was.
What do you think would have happened if you saw each other? What do you think happens?
I don't know, bro. We just have such a long history. He said some foul things. You ever watch Family Guy?
Yeah.
You know when Peter and the chicken run into each other?
Tell me about it.
They freaking go on this crazy fight. They're falling down hills. They're fighting for an hour. You know, that's what would have happened.
You think so? You think you guys would have fought?
Yeah, for sure.
Because of what he said about your family?
Yeah, and just everything we have over the past however many years since our first fight.
But
for sure we would have.
After the second fight, it was so cordial.
Yeah, but it's not anymore.
Okay. Do you think you would have ignited that, or him, or just like the two of you just seeing each other would have?
Yeah, just the both of us. I believe both of us.
He said afterwards.
That's what I told. Once my guy walked us away and told me what just happened and why we had to make that short right, I was like, dude, for sure. If we'd have made, that's what I told him. If we'd have made eye contact, if our eyes would have met, it would have been bad, probably.
Wow.
And just to let you know, guys, I recently launched a YouTube mentorship called YouTube 10X, where I teach creators how to 10X their views and revenue on YouTube. Recently, I helped these creators all get monetized on YouTube. I also helped this creator reach 75,000 subscribers in 2 months. If you're interested in joining YouTube 10X, I'll leave a link in the description of this video. But anyway, for the next story, Nick Diaz shares some training footage ahead of his fight with Vicente Luque at UFC 310. Now, on his Instagram, Nick actually posted this video saying, "Subscribe to my OnlyFans if you want to learn jiu-jitsu moves. I do situational breakdowns on there. You don't have to be a jiu-jitsu practitioner to learn some good self-defense moves. Link in bio."
I got to get this thing off of, off of there. So I walk around to this side. You see? Now I'll try to put it towards my face or towards your face. So I was trying to tell you. Yeah, let me do that good. Okay, boom, right? And then so now you go, right? Yeah.
Okay, so you change.
Yeah. So I don't want to step over his head here. Let's try to sit up. Sit up. See? You know? So sometimes though he can get away when he gets there. See, he moves over this way. Now I might get it, but I'm not getting it. Start running around on the side. He starts straightening his arm out. He starts straightening his arm out. So what I do is I take it from here, I go elbow, and then I go like this. Yeah, see? But he might let his arm pop or something, and then boom, we get him here. So now I'm going to switch.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm tapping here.
Okay.
You see, so now he doesn't like to tap here. So I elbow deep again. Here, they probably don't get it. He keeps bending his arm. See, so now I'm really on him. You know, so
yeah.
Now I'm gonna get him right when I get here. He's gonna tap, you know, or I pick it up. Now, you see, because.
So it's awesome to see Nick Diaz in his element there, and just in case you didn't know, he makes his return against Vicente Luque on December 7th at UFC 310. Now, I am interested to see this fight because Nick's last fight against Robbie Lawler, It was actually a decent performance. Obviously, he got stopped. It was, I think, a TKO stoppage. He got injured. But in terms of his striking and the way he looked at that fight, he didn't perform the best. But he had some good moments in that fight, and he actually caught Robbie Lawler with some good shots. So this fight in particular, Vicente Luque, he's not had a great stint as of late. So this is a fair matchup. In terms of the striking, in terms of the grappling as well, I'm not too sure how this will go, but I'm very interested to see how this fight will go. For the next story, KSI responds to Conor McGregor's call out. So recently KSI released a sort of pop song, a rap song, whatever it was, and not a lot of people liked the song, and one of those people that didn't like the song was Conor McGregor. And in a recent interview with Misfits Boxing, Conor actually criticized KSI for the song, and he said he would actually fight KSI for releasing the song. So this is what Conor had to say about KSI's song.
So he's up against it, but Oscar's coming for the goal, baby. Let's go, Oscar Willis to the Magnet.
One more question, Conor. You called out KSI a few times. Could we ever see that fight down the line?
Let's go, man.
Any messages for KSI?
I'll fight him for that bullshit song he released alone. I'll fight him for that fucking song alone. Dave Foden, here we go, we're back, baby. The richest motherfucking photographer in the game, baby. Hey, that man, yeah, get that man more magic.
So KSI actually responded to Conor McGregor. KSI actually had some harsh words to say about Conor, and he went on to say he's an embarrassment to his wife, his kids, the whole of Ireland. It's a disgrace.
Once he, finally fights with Dana, then maybe we can actually properly talk. But right now, he's just a pointless human being that is just wasting everyone's time, being an embarrassment to his wife, his kids, the whole of Ireland, and it's quite frankly a disgrace.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
He had a few words to say, JJ.
I'll fight him for that bullshit song he released alone. I'll fight him for that fucking song alone.
I tweeted, I said you can hear the in his voice, man. Or what was the last notable thing he did? He is nothing, and he's just waltzing about like he's the shit when he isn't.
Do you want that fight?
I'm here to fight, bro. I'm here to fight. Bro, Conor, let's go. He's not even fighting at UFC. Once he, finally fights with Dana, then maybe we can actually properly talk. But right now, he's just a pointless human being that is just wasting everyone's time, being an embarrassment to his wife, his kids, the whole of Ireland, and it's quite frankly a disgrace.
In terms of those comments by KSI and Conor McGregor, let's just talk about business. In terms of business, obviously KSI is successful, Conor McGregor successful. But if we're talking about fighting, KSI is an embarrassment to fighting. He's not a real fighter. He lost to Tommy Fury. Obviously, he trains to compete, but in terms of fighting, he is not a real fighter because Conor McGregor would literally take his life in a heartbeat if he really wanted to. In boxing, he's protected with the gloves, with the rules and all the rest of it, but if it was an actual real fight, an MMA fight or a street fight, KSI would be dead. But in terms of business, obviously KSI is successful and Conor's successful. I think they should just both stay in his lane. KSI, you should just stay in your lane in business. Let Conor do what he wants because he is the face of the fight game and he's achieved way more than you would fight him. But that's my thoughts on the situation. And for the final story, Dana White shuts down Cowboy Cerrone's UFC return. So recently, Cowboy Cerrone announced that he wanted to make his return to the UFC, and in an interview or a video, whatever it was, he went on to say, I want to get back and do more fights. The number 50 Zuffa fights has been sitting in my mind for a while. Now I have to come off steroids and piss clean, fight in a few months, so watch this. And Dana actually gave his reaction to Cowboy's comments about coming back to the UFC, and Dana said he hates it, he doesn't like it, and he doesn't want to see Cowboy Cerrone fight ever again.
Cowboy Cerrone said he's coming out of retirement.
I hate it.
He wants 2 more fights.
I hate it.
Is that
Love him, hate that. He retired. It's just what for what? What's left to prove? If you want to make money, let's figure something else out. And yeah, I hate it.
And I wanted to ask about
when guys retire, they retire for a reason. They don't just retire because they retire because they know it's over. It is. So I think that not just this sport, but any professional sport is hard to walk away from. Not just the money. That's obviously a very hard part of it, but the feeling of walking out of that tunnel, the feeling of getting in the cage and the place is packed and everybody. Look at every time we're at a show, When you show Cowboy Cerrone on the screen, the place goes nuts. I mean, he's beloved. He's beloved because the guy goes to war, and he's been in wars for years, and it's time to not go to war anymore, man. It's just there's nothing left to prove for him.
It's safe to say he won't be fighting in the UFC.
I'd rather work something else out with him, figure out another way. If it's about money, then he can do something else. Because he ain't going to fight for the rest of his life, and he's always going to need to make money. So let's figure that out now instead of 3 years from now.
I wanted to ask.
So in terms of Cowboy Cerrone fighting, there's two perspectives you can look at it from. First of all, from a business perspective, from Dana White's perspective, the UFC used to pay Cowboy Cerrone a lot of money for his fights. He was actually one of the highest paid fighters in the UFC. Despite being on a big losing streak and not being a title contender and being quite old for the sport, Dana White and the UFC paid Cowboy a lot of money, but considering he's not in the title run now and he's not really relevant to the division in terms of the rankings and title fights and stuff like that, I can see why Dana was saying he doesn't want Cowboy to fight, because for the amount of money they pay Cowboy Cerrone, they could literally book 5-10 different fighters instead of booking Cowboy Cerrone. So we understand it from that perspective. From Cowboy Cerrone's perspective, he's sacrificed his body, his mind, his life for the sport. So he's already lost everything in terms of his mind, his body, and his soul for the sport. He's spilled blood, he's fought his heart out for the fans. So he's pretty much given everything for the sport. If he wants to come back and make more money, he should be allowed to decide when he retires, and he should be allowed to decide if he does or doesn't fight. So from Cowboy's perspective, I believe he should be able to fight because he's also a family man. He has to make a living and he's given everything to the sport. He doesn't have much of a career outside of fighting, so he should be able to fight. So from that perspective, I do believe that Cowboy Cerrone should be able to choose if he fights or not. But give me your thoughts in the comments, guys. What do you think about the situation? Should the UFC let Cowboy fight and hit that number 50 fight, or should they just not let him fight again and basically save him from himself? Give me your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think.